Well, there we go. A voice for Madeline. And in 14 years, that's what we've been doing for Madeline on all of our groups and forums. And so I wanted to address that today, and the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we've experienced over 14 years. So hi, everyone, and thanks so much once again for being here. It just amazes me that I have this opportunity, and I'm really appreciative. And I hope today it's going to be a little bit different because we're not focusing on Maddie, although I think that video shows that she's what it's all about. But let me say I had inspiration over this past week or so to do this video, to do this live. And it's actually very troubling. It's something that is important to me, that all myself, as well as the Heidi Ho Controversy group, is credible. And I've worked hard for that over the years. And our HDH group we're really strict. We don't allow any bad, any bullying or anything. I mean, anything that is questionable, we delete and put in a group and save it for years and years and years. And the admin, for 7 years, the same admin, Helen, Kerry, Cherry, hi Cherry, Linda, and also Steph. She helps us with hitting on those replies when people use the reply button. We've worked hard to make it a good and decent group. And just this week, I was pretty upset because something was said which tries to discredit not only myself, not only the group, but also Carrie. And we all know Carrie, and we know that Carrie is just wonderful. And she was accused of being a bully. And Heidi Ho Controversy was accused of being a bullying group. And I just wanted to put it to rest that that is not the case. So I'm just going to play you a little clip of what was actually said. And of course, that would be if my mouse worked. Okay. So, yeah, it was said just a week or so ago. And it's troubling that anybody would want to say this. So let me play it, and then I'm going to bring up the creator that she is talking about.
And
because you wanted to come on the panel.
Oh, before you go, Carrie, I need to tell you something.
I don't understand this.
In my Madeline McCann group,
if I'd done what they did to me, there would have been hell on.
A person made a video about Madeline McCann, and she'd been making videos for a few months, and I'd never listened to one. So I actually got one and listened to it, and I couldn't believe it. The video started off all about Heidi Ho's group and the way she was bullied in that group. So you might need to toddle off and go and see to that, because I think your name was mentioned about bullying.
Mm.
Well, that's pretty troubling, isn't it? And anyway, the name of the person, the creator that made those videos is here with us, Catalina, and I'm just going to bring her on. Hi, Catalina.
Hi, Lizzie. Hi, everyone.
Hi there. So I contacted you because I wasn't, if you were upset with us, that's absolutely fine. I wanted to iron it out with you. But the fact is, you told me that you weren't upset.
No, I had no reason to be.
And let me just, this is what makes me laugh, is let me just show you the chat that Kerry had with you. And this is it. Hi, Catalina. I hope you're well. I'm sorry, but I've had to decline your post for HDH because you advertise merchandise on your videos about Madeline. We don't allow videos or links to the site that's would make money out of the McCanns. Hope you understand. Now, does that sound like bullying to you?
No, of course not. No,
of course. I read it. She's hardly
it's
a pit bull.
ridiculous, really.
She's hardly a pit bull. Yeah. So, all of these issues have really, really played on my mind, and it really troubles me because although it starts off on a little live, it can escalate, and lots of people ultimately will start believing all the lies. So you have a channel yourself. I don't know if Carrie, she's great if she's there. She's great at putting in links, but we certainly will put your link in for you so that people can go and visit you. And I have to apologize because one day I did mention to you that I thought you were Portuguese. And you're actually Romanian, right? Romanian didn't pop into my head, but it's so good. And you are actually, I think you said that you even have used some of our clips and in your videos.
Yes, I did. And honestly, I am a huge fan of yours. I am a subscriber to your YouTube channel. I'm also a part of your Facebook group. I've been sharing there previously on your group. So to me, there was no bullying from you or from your moderators or from your admins on the Facebook group. I always watch your videos on YouTube, and if there is anything that I think I can use for my own videos as well, I will. So obviously I appreciate you and your hard work.
Oh, that is so lovely, and I'm so pleased that you're here, because sometimes these things get out of hand, and who's right, who's wrong? I think you've proved that whatever was said did not happen. But I do want people to go to your channel and Carrie has put up the link to your channel.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
So,
I see a few people in the chat here which are subscribers to my channel as well.
Oh, that's great. Hi, everyone. That's nice to see you. And I did say to you, if you want me to pop on at some point, I'd be willing to come and join you. That would be exciting.
Thank you so much. And also thank you so much for inviting me, because we know that usually online and the social media, people can spread rumors everywhere. And sometimes you have no idea where the rumors are being spread. So for you to come to me and ask me, I really appreciate it, because at least I knew that there was an issue somewhere and we could clarify this.
Yeah, and that's always important to me. And the thing is, with what's been important for me from day one is that we are polite and respectful. Admin are polite and respectful. And we have one, she's a virtual delight. She often has to bite her lip, but she's polite and respectful. Well, maybe, I think there was once, but that's beside the point. But yeah, and this is it. And even in Messenger, and that was in Messenger. I mean, Kerry could have talked to you any way she wanted to in Messenger. It wasn't public. And she wasn't. She was really polite. And I'm really proud.
Polite, yes.
I'm really proud of her. I'm proud of all my admins. And did I forget any? I don't think I did. But anyway, I'm really proud of them. And what happens is also, I learned a long time ago that if you just ban people, what they tend to do is go to the other groups and start complaining. So what I did was I suggested that the admin, if there was any, I mean, there's the odd real troll, those are different. I'm talking about just generally with our members. And I suggested to them that if they were going to get banned, then send them to me for a Lizzie chat. And it's become world-renowned Lizzie chat. And by the time I finished with them, they want to leave. But and also we as I say, we save everything. So if somebody comes back to us from 8 years ago and says you were rude to me, we've got the proof that we weren't. So
That's a brilliant idea. I learned that the hard way, you know.
Did we
okay,
lose Lucy?
I think it was me. I lost you for a bit, did I?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. If I do disappear, I'd have to reboot, and it might take me a few minutes to get back on. But Catalina, thank you so much for popping on. Is there anything else you wanted to say about? Oh, yes, there is. You're the other reason I wanted to do this is because you'd mentioned that you've yourself in your own group have been getting a lot of issues.
Yes, it is now my group. I was made an admin of the group's creator. It's a Facebook group. And I joined that group as well to share my videos, and the creator decided to make me an admin. We actually get along really well. And yes, the bullying happened for me on 1 or 2 Facebook groups, which are, as we like to call it, pro groups, if you like. And once I started realizing that I'm being bullied, I just left the group, but they didn't stop there. Sometimes it happens on Twitter as well, and I believe they are the same people, but obviously they will have different usernames. And it got so bad to the point where they would take one of my YouTube videos, they would share that video on their group, and they would start trying to instigate everybody else from the group to join in and bully me. And it wasn't about the video that I made or the content that I made. It was getting personal, to the point where they were even saying that because her ex-husband abused her, that's why she's now picking on the McCanns. So it got really personal for me.
Oh dear. It sounds like I've got some background noise, and yet I've got absolutely nothing else on. Can you hear the background noise behind me?
Yes, and it is you, because when Catalina talks, your little bubble is moving. So
Yeah.
it's picking up. Yeah, it's picking up something in the background.
Oh, okay. Golly, I have no idea, because I just closed down and just opened up Chrome. Golly, I don't really know what to do. There's nothing else.
Maybe you can try going out and coming back in.
Yes, there's a good idea.
Okay, so we're just gonna fill some time. I hear an echo now too. So I'm putting, I don't know if you can see, I'm putting comments up. I do that, especially if somebody has something really nice to say to the guest. I put them up there for you. So.
Hi, Janet. Thank you so much. Janet, she is a subscriber to my channel as well.
Yeah, you have quite a few of them in there.
Yes, I have seen a few of them. Yeah, Janet, Sandy Blue, JD. JD is a mod on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So yes, there are quite a few who have joined today. It was last minute, so I couldn't really announce it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
can you hear me okay? I'm gonna totally leave and totally come back.
Okay.
Sorry about this. I've turned down every notification, every laptop is on mute, and there's nobody here with me. Okay, I'll be back in a short while.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now that she's gone, there still is kind of an echo, is there? Okay.
A bit, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll figure it out. So until she comes back, I mean, did you want to talk any more about the type of bullying that you've experienced? I'm kind of new to the Maddie stuff, so I'm learning that topic alone causes a lot of a lot of people grief, and it's gotten very dangerous for a lot of people too. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's got really dangerous for people like Brenda Leyland, for example, when she was vilified on Twitter, and it ended up with her killing herself. Although honestly, I see a different story to it, but I don't want to get into it right now, into the suicide side of it. And I think I lost my thought there.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Oh yes, I was going to say that I actually, when I created my YouTube channel, it was just at the beginning of last year, but I did not focus on true crime. I was actually doing challenges and pranks, and it was only in June in June last year, when I started working on Madeleine McCann investigation. And I believe that, like so many people at the beginning, I was pro. If I'm honest, I was pro because it was the first time that I've heard about the Madeleine McCann case. So I assume, like everybody at the beginning, you believe the parents because it was misfortunate that Madeleine disappeared whilst they went on holiday. And then the more I started looking into the case, and I had a few of my viewers who were suggesting, you should check the PJ files. Then the more I researched and the more I looked into it, I realized that, hold on a second, something happened with Madeleine McCann in Praia da Luz, and it wasn't an abduction. And I believe that the parents had something to do with it. And that is how I started to do videos on the Madeleine McCann. But I'm not doing videos only on Madeleine McCann. I'm also doing true crime cases in general. And the only bullying I got was from the Madeleine McCann case. It's very not disappointing, not frustrating, but more like it's very upsetting, because we are talking about a little girl who went missing, and bullying someone for talking about it is just wrong in this kind of situation. And also for bullying someone because they just have a different opinion to you, again, is very wrong.
Yeah, so like I said, kind of being new to all this, do you think that the what the parents have done and the actions that they've taken have kind of given people the encouragement to behave the way they do?
I believe so. And I also think that because this is such a highly controversial case and is being covered over the years since the beginning in the media, a lot of people know about it, and a lot of people have there are divided opinions here, obviously. But also the fact that the parents behaved over the years the way they did, it just goes to show that they show us it's okay for you to behave like you are behaving.
Right.
It's sort of like an example.
Yeah. So,
and sometimes people, when they don't have anything to say, they would go to this kind of lengths.
Yeah, well, we've seen that a lot in the other side from all this. So definitely, that's for sure. So have you known a lot of people that have actually just kind of backed away from this because of it?
I don't know, not that I am aware of, no, but me included, and the creator of the Facebook group that I'm admin, we said that we will just ignore all the bullying because she has the same problem like I have. Yeah. With bullying, because she's got a Facebook group on Madeleine McCann. But we said we will just ignore the bullies because there's no point. The more you respond to them and the more you try to defend yourself, the more fuel you give them to just carry on, because they can see they affect you.
Yeah, and I think that's the stance that most people want to take. Oh, just want to let everybody know, I do hear myself echoing, but I'm going to wait for Lizzie to get back and then I'm going to get out. So in the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and keep throwing questions at her. So, oh, see again, there, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So, not acknowledging them is definitely the way to go. But after a certain point, you know, you and I were talking about this right before we went live. You kind of feel like you have to at a certain point because you don't know if people are believing what's being said about you.
Yes. And this is the worst thing about social media, like we talked before joining the live, is the worst thing about social media and about the online world in general, because you have these people who they are the keyboard warriors. They hide behind the keyboard and they just say it as it is. But if they would be face to face with you, they would never be able to say such things. And also, when you are a creator, like a YouTube creator or a creator of a Facebook group or, you know, whatever that you put out publicly, then automatically when someone says something which is not true about you, you have to defend yourself, because people then they create their wrong opinions on you. And you don't know in how many different places everything is being shared, because nowadays you post that photo online, in 10 years you can still find it even if you deleted it, because you have no clue whatsoever how many people saw and saved that photo before you deleted it. So it's a whole new, I don't even know how to compare it. It's like the universe, you know, it gets lost.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, and that's kind of what you had said about you were glad that she contacted you because you had no idea that this stuff was being said about you,
Yes.
or that it was what's the right word, that it was insinuated that you were implying this.
Yes, it was. I was really appreciative of Lizzie for contacting me about this, because otherwise I would have had no idea that this is being said about me accusing someone which is not true. I never had anything against Lizzie, against her channel or her Facebook group. She never did anything wrong to me, and I was never bullied by them, and I never said that. And also the fact that they mentioned one of my videos, that's where I was talking about it. In the comment section, there is no such thing. I did not mention that at all. And it's a complete lie.
Lizzie, you're doing that alien space thing again.
I know, and this is, I have no idea why. I just rebooted.
Lizzie, if you're still there, I'm gonna jump out. Catalina, we're really sorry about this. This hasn't happened for a while, so now we got to try to remember how we resolved it last time. I'm gonna jump out and make sure I'm not the problem.
No, I think it's me. I took the mic out. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
There's still yeah, we can hear you, but there's an echo. But I was echoing when you were gone, so I'm jumping out.
Well, Catalina, thank you so much for joining in with us. This is just, it's difficult. I don't know what to do. I rebooted, so I've got nothing else going. I've only got a candle going, and that's not making a noise.
It seems to be a bit better.
Do you think so?
Yes, it sounds better now.
I can hear myself, and I don't think I have headphones to even sort it out. That makes it very difficult because
Yeah, you're echoing now. Yes. So am I the only one now?
Okay. No, I still hear an echo, and I have everything shut off on mine. Don't know what Lizzie's doing. See, do you see how her little circle keeps moving when I'm talking? Oh wait, that's me. Sorry, I need to change my avatar.
Yes.
Jeez, we are just a ball of mess today, aren't we? Okay, now there we go.
Well, first of all, I mean, thank you both for hanging in there. And I have absolutely nothing else happening around me. I can hear myself.
Did you unplug your mic? Because someone says turn your mic down. I don't have a mic.
I don't have a mic either.
I turned my volume down just now. That doesn't seem to help. Yeah, I don't have a mic. I know Lizzie does, but I thought she said she unplugged it.
I did unplug it. I have it down really low now. Is that? No, it's still there. Well, I don't know what to do. Whether, because I can't let people put up with me sounding like this.
You sound better now, though.
You do. You sound a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I'll turn it down a wee bit. I can hear myself echoing.
Did you say you unplugged your mic?
I did at one point.
Can you do it again? But I don't think it's just Lizzie because I'm echoing too.
Maybe it's from me?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know because I can't hear myself.
Well, but you're the only one not echoing.
Right, okay.
I'm chatting and I have it on mute. So you know what? Right now, I really apologize about this. I'll try and turn on mute whenever I can. Do you think we should carry on with this as it sounds? How is it to everybody else?
You go ahead and go on. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try a few things and then I'll come back. So you go ahead. I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay. Okie dokie. Well, what? Now, thanks so much, Catalina, for filling in there. It's becoming your show. If you'd like to stay with us, that would be fine. Would you like to, or did you want to pop out?
Yeah, that's fine. I can stay. I don't mind. I
Okay,
quite enjoy
lovely.
this, actually.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun?
Yes.
So basically, we've addressed that. And what I wanted to do was actually address the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's been a lot of good in our groups. I first want to make mention of, sadly, another member passed away. It seems like every Saturday there's another member passed away. And Waleed, who many of you may remember from years ago, sadly he passed away with his family at his side. And there's been so many others. A couple of weeks ago, Linda Rafter passed away. So sad. Linda Hamilton. Dwight Levy. He was a big, it was thanks to him, I believe, that we got the video of the MADDIE dogs and lots of other stuff. Dwight Levy was in touch with Gonzalo Amaral. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And we're not going to forget our lovely Michelle, who was an admin for us. And in fact, on our videos of No Neglect, she just plugged it like crazy. And for all the videos, all the views that were there, it was our lovely Michelle that that did it. Rest in peace, Michelle. Also, Marion Greaves. Many know that she's been with us, or had been with us for years. And then we go back to, and Tanya Cadigan. I mean, this is so sad. Look at who we're losing. But I guess in 14 years, that's a long time. Then, of course, we have Brenda. Sadly, took her own life after being attacked by the media. Martin Brunt arrived on her doorstep, and 2 days later, she passed away. Then, of course, we have Ironside, Still Magnolia. She was a great person within the MADDIE community. I mean, I'm sure lots of people know her under a regular name, or her Ironside, or Still Magnolia was her blog, and she was also My Nanny on Twitter, I think. And actually, just for a second, I'm just gonna play a little portion of the video that I did for her. It was
another year older, a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser than you go today. Looking over my shoulder, I was so much younger then. I can't believe what happened. Hey, you go today, and I just can't forget about it, or it wouldn't mean nothing. You went away a year ago today.
so that was very sad. Did you? I guess she left us just a few years ago, so you don't really know her, Catalina, do you?
No, I'm fairly new to the MADDIE case. I only started researching it in June last year. I've read about Brenda Leyland, but I wasn't aware of the rest.
Yeah. Okay, talking of Brenda, I'll play a little bit of the video that I made for her.
May it be an evening star shines down upon you. May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road, oh how far you are from home. Morning you journey on to light the day. When the night is over cold, you may rise to find the sun.
That was one of the, here I go again. That was one of the saddest days, I think. We just experienced where Martin Brunt had showed up on her doorstep, and she was really polite to him. And I think everybody attacked her. Everybody attacked her. All she was guilty of was on Twitter sending out some tweets which were not dreadful. They were just very much similar to what we all write. And it got too much for her. And 2 days later, she took her own life. So, excuse me, this is where I usually get Shirley to pop in.
I was, so first off, is the echoing still?
You sound better as well.
Okay. I'm like Catalina. I wasn't involved back then, but I have definitely heard of her, and I heard of her at the time. I just wasn't that deep into the case, and yeah, it's just terrible. And I can only imagine how it affected the whole community at that time, because it was, I don't know any other word, just tragic. It's just tragic.
Yeah, it was hard to get over. And not only that, I think the day before, I think Jerry McCann had made some comment to the paper about outing people, something like that. Maybe somebody can remember that better, but that's what happened. So anyway, we've got that done with. There's so much else that's good with the MADDIE community, but I think,
Lizzie,
yes,
just to let you know, I can't control any of the comments, because I had to just completely log out of that other login where I could be part of the creator studio. So I'm just in now as a guest, so I can't put comments up. So I'm just telling you that there were a few people that asked if you could kind of start at the beginning again of what's brought all this up, why Catalina's here, because some people did miss it at the beginning.
yes, I did address it in chat myself.
Okay.
What I did, because it was the good, the bad, and the ugly, I wanted to address all the good things that we've had in 14 years, the friends we've made, everything that has been good. And then there has been the bad stuff. Now, I do have some more clips, and I will be getting back to that. So Catalina's still here with us. But I do want to address a couple of the bad stuff that I'm not, let me say, I've had my abuse, put it that way. in the 14 years. And here is one in particular that may shock some people. The chap that you can see there. Tell you what, Lizzie, I've pretty much said this before and others on here, and now I'll say it directly to you. Whether I get, hang on, I'm going to have to put this on full screen. Whether I get booted or not, you're a sick puppy. If Maddie is found alive, I hope she hunts you down and punches your lights out for what you've done to her family. And if she isn't found, and the fallout from this causes the bad things I expect it to cause in the McCann family, I hope the twins hunt you down and leave you for dead. I really do. And then he says, Cass, I have no idea how restrained I was being. I'm shaken with anger here. I wouldn't, using a word I don't say, in that woman's mouth, or if her teeth were on fire. So she's a liar as well as a child abuser. She needs taking out with a high-powered rifle. She's a dangerous loony. And somebody tried to stop him. So you can see that, hang on, I have to exit full screen to take this off. So you can see that there's a lot of issues that we've had over the years. In that particular case, I ignored it because it wasn't a threat. And a lot of people misunderstand what a threat is. A threat is actually threatening to do something. He was just wishing somebody would do something. So there was nothing. Everybody said, take it to the police. No. The one I did go to the police about, and this wasn't because of abuse to me as such that I needed, it was quite sensitive at that time. And this is what he said. And this somebody was a terrorist and a supporter of ISIS like Heidi Ho. And out of all the vile graphics that Lizzie has created, this is probably the worst. Heidi Ho's support for ISIS is a disgrace. Now, obviously, that's not my graphic. He's just used it. But I was concerned at that time because that was around the time there were issues. And it was quite surprising because I called the police and he was really upset and was taking it. But he said, it's just a civil case. I'd have to take it legally if I wanted. And it wasn't so much that. It was, I mean, you can imagine how troubling that is to be accused of that. Not that anybody would believe it, but that's what it was. So yes, I've had my share. But there was another incident, and I will be getting to the other stuff in a bit, but there was another incident which one day, I'd done my back in, I think, and I went to bed at like 3 in the afternoon and didn't get up till 3 in the morning when I discovered that there was it was around the time of the marathon, and there was a thread online, and there was the usual stuff, you know, about Kate being in the marathon. Oh, you should put the cadaver dogs behind her, etc., etc. And when I got up, it was all over Twitter. It was like a Thursday. It was all over Twitter that this had been said, the threat to Kate. And it was picked up in the media and it was actually the person that did it, a lovely lady. She was out walking her dog on a Sunday when she picked up the Sun, the newspaper, and found it on the front pages. And I mean, that was such a shock for her. This is the Star death threat. All it was a throwaway thread, but they took it and ran with it. And actually, this particular one was a couple of weeks after the initial time it was done, and they had time to find out that there was no threat because I'd contacted the detective in Operation Grange. He took it, I mean, he was so good. He was phoning me, trying to contact this person and telling them not to worry. I'd shown him the full threat, and he realized that it wasn't a death threat to Kate. And thankfully, and that's why we save everything, because had I not saved that thread, it might have gone a different way, you know, and taken out of context. But as it was, we were able to sort it. And the person in question, she sent me a lovely bunch of flowers over from England and a little teddy called Justice. But I just want to play you the video for that so you can see what it caused, because I actually did phone security for the marathon, because as far as they were concerned, why am I echoing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yes, but there is some background noise.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what it is, because there's absolutely nothing. There's silence here. And everything is, I've only got one tab open on the whole appy. So, but anyway, the security needed to know, because they were putting up extra security. So I was able to tell them to contact the detective, who knew it wasn't for real. I mean, caused such a lot of aggro. So I did a video. Here we go. Maybe. Well, I did do a video.
Just running scared. Each place we go, so afraid that he might show.
We both feel very strongly that more should be done about internet abuse.
It's shameful, absolutely shameful.
It is. I mean, people wouldn't get away with behaving like that on the street, and yet they feel that they can hide behind the computer at home.
It's totally cowardly, it really is, but you always rise above it. You have to.
Yeah, running scared. What would I do if he came back and wanted you? Just running scared, feeling low, running scared. You love him so. Just running scared, afraid to lose. If he came back, which one would you choose? Then all at once he was standing there, so sure of himself, his head in the air. My heart was breaking. Which one would it be?
That is the case.
Fucked up over here.
And that is quite shocking to think in our groups that that is the result of how the pro-McCanns have created issues like that. We've seen it for the 14 years, and that was just one instance of how that affected so many people and caused so much trouble. Well, I think at this point, we're going to move on to the bad. And we're going to go back, and somebody asked to hear that same clip again from that tried to discredit myself, the group, and most of all, Carrie. I mean, there is one rule on our group, that it's instant dismissal for anybody who attacks a Heidi Ho admin. So let's listen to it again.
Because you wanted to come on the panel.
Oh, before
That's
you
why.
go, Carrie, I need to tell you something.
I don't understand this.
In my Madeleine McCann group,
If I'd
my
have done
film
what they
group,
did to me, there would have been hell on.
a person made a video about Madeleine McCann, and she'd been making videos for a few months, and I'd never listened to one. So I actually got one and listened to it, and I couldn't believe it. The video started off all about Heidi Ho's group and the way she was bullied in that group. So you might need to toddle off and go and see to that, because I think your name was mentioned about bullying.
And here we have the bullying comment. Now, how can anybody take, that's certainly not bullying. I mean, it wasn't seen by that person, but to make it up and make us look and try and discredit us. And I think that's been an issue for a little while. Hence, I wanted to address it on here. Now, back in November, some of you may have been aware that we had one of our lives suddenly cancelled at the last minute. And it was suddenly cancelled because, and I want to get this straight, because the lies that have been said about it are just awful, and it upsets me. Now, I let it go. That was in November. Now this other stuff has come up, and there's a continuing effort to discredit myself and the group. I felt it important to bring it up. I usually ignore anything about myself. You know, it's the old story. If somebody accuses you and you're guilty, then for me, I'll apologize. If it's not true, then it's their problem. It's not mine. But in this case, I let it go. Didn't bother me that much. You know, I didn't like to see it, but it didn't upset me. But then it was brought up a little bit afterwards on another live, which I don't have clips for, but I can assure everybody, and I'm sure that Shirley will be able to agree with me on this, that in that particular chat, just before the live, it was just a discussion. There was no sign of a migraine, no sign of a migraine whatsoever. It was just a discussion about asking if we could have a screenshot full page and not small. You know, when you're looking at a video, you don't want to see all the suggestions down the side. And I was told that's not possible. And all I was doing was explaining that, well, it's been done before, you know, so that's all that we wanted. All of a sudden, 8 minutes before we were to go live, we got a sudden, I say we, because there was about 30 of, well, not everybody was there, but there's about 30 people in this chat. So they know exactly what happened. And the 8 minutes before, all of a sudden, I've had enough, I've got a migraine, I'm going, and shut off. Now, I'm like in shock, and I'm like, does that mean it's finished? And no answer. So immediately, Shirley and myself go over to the live to try and explain to everybody it had been shut down, and it was gone. It was deleted. So I rushed over to my channel, this channel, and wrote a postponed message on the thumbnail for the promo for that video. And it was quite shocking. But I mean, if somebody's got a migraine, then you say, oh, I've got a migraine. Do you mind? I mean, honestly, absolutely honestly, if she'd have said to me at that moment, listen, Liz, I don't think I can do it. I've got a migraine. I would have absolutely said, listen, don't worry about it. We'll sort it out and take it from there, and we'll do it another day. There is no question that I would have answered that way, and everybody knows I would have answered that way. But then to come back a few minutes later, supposedly with a migraine that you've thrown up all over your keyboard and everything, and I can't remember now, a 10-minute attack against me and complaining and blaming me, which I ignored. The next day is when it was addressed. The next evening, Sunday evening, no migraine, no nothing to do with the live. It was there was a chat in place, and all I asked was to suggest that she should apologize to people for doing that. Just not an apology to me, just an apology to the people that she let down. And that's all that we asked. And it was refused. And it was refused, and it was refused. I was polite. Everybody has seen the chat. Everybody knows that there was no question in this chat that I was rude. I was accused of dumping her. It was just horrible, but that's okay. I stayed with it, and then all of a sudden I was blocked because there was no sign of this was about after 2 or 3 hours. I was blocked and no sign of any apology. Now that I let that go, okay, that's her problem. But then I hear her on the live a couple of days later claiming how everybody's sympathizing because, oh, that's awful that she should have understood that you had a migraine. No, she did not have a migraine that I was aware of. Well, she wouldn't even let me answer. I mean, she just closed down after she'd said, I've got a migraine, I'm going to bed, bye. Or she didn't say bye. And any of the chat regarding that was on the Sunday night. It wasn't that day. She came back and blasted me, which I ignored. So anyway, again, I let it go. A lot of my friends immediately saw how bad that I was being made out to be, and they went into that chat and tried to tell the truth, and they were deleted. I have the comments, and you can see them as they're deleted. Anybody who tried to support me was deleted, because at that point it was Lizzie was nasty, and she was trying to make you do a live when you had a migraine. Absolutely not true. Everybody knows it. But I let it go, and I was okay. But I don't know how long after, all of a sudden, all my MADDIE videos were taken down. And let me tell you, I can not, when I say all the ones I'd done live on her channel, let me tell you that I'm okay with all of the issues that somebody has in the way I've just described. And I wouldn't normally be bringing this up, but I'm seeing, 4 months later, everything's being brought up again. I wouldn't be bothered about myself, but the second she took down my MADDIE videos, which she knew I was going to be sending to the Portuguese police, I was fuming. I don't think anybody has seen me more fuming. In fact, I think I'm doing it a bit now. get upset with anything, but when you mess with Maddie, and when you mess with Heidi Ho Controversy, and when you mess with Kerry, I'm sorry. That's why I chose to do this this live. So I think Shirley was there at the time. Are you in agreement, Shirley, that I've described it how it happened?
Yeah. The only thing is that I would change or add is that she never mentioned a migraine until that live. Even in the chat, she just said, I've had enough of this. Now I'm getting a bloody headache. I'm going to bed. She didn't, I mean, and yes, I know, sorry, that's my dog. I know that headache and migraine are interchangeable, but yeah, it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a few other, that was then. And as I say, apart from being upset about Maddie's videos going, so it wasn't just about the PJ. I had all the promos on the channel. So people, when they clicked on the promo, were going to a link that didn't exist. I mean, that is just awful. You know, we've got a channel with 15 million views, and it loses credibility when they start clicking on links, and there's, you know, the links to the live have gone. Now, what happened while I was doing those, she knew, of course, that I had my channel, our channel, that I could do it on, but I didn't. I could have done, but I chose to stay with her because I felt not obliged. Well, I don't know the word. I felt that it was wrong of me to make use of her by doing a couple of lives and then moving over to our channel. I just felt that wrong. So I stayed and did it, even though it was getting more difficult and people were seeing some issues. And but I felt that she had helped me and I was going to stay there. So when this happened, I said to her, well, don't worry, you know, I'll do it on our channel. And then I got accused of dumping her. Like, no. But anyway, there was so much more to it. And the reason I bring it up, and I don't usually enter into drama of any kind, but as I was thinking about it, after being upset about how the bullying issue was brought up, I thought, you know what? This is about these members, these chat members that are in live right now, who may have been sat there waiting that day. And I do know that somebody had specifically made arrangements for that day and had changed them just so that she could join us in the live. I mean, it's just so sad. And it's sad that it happened, but it's even sadder that it's being told in a totally different light. And because it affects the channel, because it affects our subs, not that I'm a sub person, but and it, you know, it discredits all of us. That's why I decided I'd bring it up. Now, I do have some more clips that have just been from recently. I don't have any of those old clips. But
can I say something really quick? I just want to add, and I don't think this needs to be said, but I just want to say it, that there are a lot of us that can attest that you really, this isn't about the drama with Maureen. It's really not. It's about the stuff. It's about how she used the Maddie stuff to get back at you, which had nothing to do with anything. It didn't. And that's where she, you know, she crossed the line for a lot of people.
Yeah, and in one of these clips, you can hear her say that she didn't want to do the Maddie lives. She never told me this, never mentioned it. She didn't want to do the Maddie lives because she realized that, and this is what, oh, I tell you, what really got to me is, and you'll hear it, she mentions that what we were doing to the McCanns in these lives is similar to what Armchair Detective is doing to the Rusex. Now, excuse me, the McCanns have, in the police files, are claimed to have hid Madeleine's body and simulated an abduction. And they are compared to the Ruzek family, who lost their family by their son-in-law killed his wife and their 3 children.
I
And the
still can't get over that.
The Ruzek family are suffering. And that's a comparison as to why we shouldn't be doing Maddie lives or Maddie videos, because we're upsetting the McCanns. You won't believe it when you hear it. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to this person that I'm exposing this, but anybody that knows me, I will put up with anything. Don't worry about me. I'll still be here when you come back. But, and I don't get into the drama of back and forth. But in this case, it's a challenge for, I have to do it to be able to make it recognized that you don't listen to what you're told on the internet. If you want proof of anything, you can always come to me. I can give you proof. But when other people start claiming things that are not true, ask them for proof, because in this case, they won't be able to come up with it. So hold on. I'm going to play it now.
I was just going to say, you already touched on this, but before you play this video, I just want everybody to keep in mind that the next day, the conversation in the chat went on for hours. Maureen was very, very upset that Lizzie had said, okay, clearly this is too much for you. I'm going to move these lives to my own channel. And she lost it. Maureen lost it, and Lizzie was trying to be polite, not mean, like, okay, I'm taking my lives and going away. It was more like, I know you have a lot on your plate and this seems really stressful for you, and I don't want to make this worse for you. So, and she kept saying that she was being dumped. So when Maureen, in the video you're going to play about her saying that she didn't want to do them in the first place, that's another lie. That came after the fact. That's not what was happening at the time.
Yeah. And I was polite. I even offered to go back on her channel at one point if that's what she wanted. But it gets so, there's distortion and there's twisted and there's outright lies. And I'm afraid there's 2 things in life that I will not tolerate. I can put up with abuse. I've been called every name under the sun, and I'll still chat to the person. I have, so what? That's not an issue. That's why I've got so many people who used to hate me that I still chat with. But one thing you don't ever do to me is lie to me or break my trust. Because, excuse me, because as soon as you do that, I'm done. And actually, I did the same to my husband. At the point that happened, I was finished.
And unfortunately, just to rope Catalina back in here, is that in Maureen's effort to try to discredit Lizzie and her group and Carrie and all of their work, she got looped in. Just wanted to reiterate that no, she's just over there doing her thing, and all of a sudden she's part of this. And
I didn't even know who Maureen was.
So that's another example of what people do, to try to fake credibility, is they throw stuff out there. And I guess she just didn't figure that Carrie would actually, I don't know if she said toddle or toggle off and sort it. Well, that's I put that in the chat. That's what Lizzie and Catalina are doing today. They're sorting it. Maureen told them to do it, so that's what they're doing.
Well, yeah.
I've actually ridiculous, really.
I've actually got 4 clips, and there were so many things said. They may be a little bit randomly in order, but here's another one.
I had to let Lizzie down that night. I don't bring my home life onto Facebook. I don't tell people what's going on in my life, but I'd had a flooded house. My husband was ill. Nothing was going right. I had the stress of the group. Everything had gotten on top of me. I had this bloody headache banging away in my head, and I just couldn't take any more.
And I think that's something we're all forgetting.
I'm a human being, not a
We're all
bloody
forgetting to consider that we don't know what's going on in that other person's day.
Yeah. Limit, boundaries.
Well, I agree with that, but there was no sign of anything, and it was just rudeness. So that kind of covers that one.
Didn't think so.
Desperately upset.
Yeah, I figured.
I have had enough. Lizzie Heidi Taylor started this in November 2018 with her unwritten rule that nobody can earn money out of Madeleine McCann. That was news to me because I hadn't seen it written anywhere because it was unwritten. They started on AD, Mike, me and Debbie, and called us leeches because we teamed up with AD and we were helping him do his show. We were very respectful, Mike and I, to the thread that they put up about us. And we told them all the truth of what we knew about AD at the time. And this has gone on since November 2018. And I am not having it anymore. I did nothing wrong. Mike did nothing wrong. If anyone wants the bloody truth, they should have been there to see how Mike, me, and Debbie, when she was well enough, tried to stop that bastard fleecing people.
Yeah.
Now, what I'd like you to keep in mind following that is that throughout the time, now she's talking about Armchair Detective being a mod on there. Throughout that time when she was getting a lot of issues from people, I stayed with them. I was in touch with her throughout that time. And I was there for her when she left and was upset and really upset. And she said she's got no friends, nobody wants to. I was there for her. And I don't know what it is, but it just seems that she's trying to discredit myself, Maddie. I mean, a lot of what she said here is about Maddie. You know, almost insinuating there that because Armchair Detective makes money, this was the issue. Well, it is an issue because that's the unwritten rule, which of course she couldn't see because it's unwritten. And none of us, well, let me put it this way. Maybe some people make money, but their videos are not put in the group. That's all. They're not welcome to the group, as is Armchair Detective, who, by the way, a lot of people may not realize how much you can make on YouTube. And I do have a video I'll play in a minute, but in a little bit. But with Armchair Detective, he started off the same as us. Then he decided he could make money from it. Then he moved over to the Watts case and started to get lots and lots of views from the Watts case. In the meantime, a lot of what he was doing was hurting the Ruzek family, who were the parents of Chris Watts' wife that he killed, and also the grandparents of the children. And they'd asked him to stop so many times. In fact, they even went to Denver and put out a press broadcast and begged that these creators would stop. And it still hasn't stopped. But let me tell you something. If you think that a YouTuber may make a little bit of money, let me just give you an idea of what a YouTuber can make. And in this case, because we are fully aware that Armchair Detective he claims 2,000 patrons. Maybe he's exaggerating, but we know it's been at least 1,500. On a Patreon, you can pay $1, $2, $3, $5, $10. He's sold out of the $1, $3, and $5, so everybody has to pay at least $10, and he's always bugging everybody to, maybe up it, you know. He's had nights where he's had PayPal, and he's got about 20 people sending PayPal to him. He's just recently been remonetized, which means he's going to get a heck of a lot of money from that. But as far as YouTube goes, the Patreon members who pay a minimum of $10, you work that out. That's 1,500 members at $10. That's $15,000 every single month. And it could be more. Then you add the PayPal, and now monetization. And also now he's got channel members who pay every month. He is probably, and I wouldn't be far off if he's getting between 25 and 30,000 a month just for being on YouTube. All of us, well, I know for myself, which I proved to you, don't get a penny. So don't question our, well, just don't, I can't think of the word, but don't question us for not taking money. I've got 15 million views, about 400 videos, and I've never received a penny, and I don't want to receive any. I'm not putting other people down if they do. That's absolutely okay. But we're not going to make money from little Maddie. And I kind of think the same about how can anybody make as much money as he's making from mostly the death of Shanann Watts, Cece, Bella, and little Nico. You agree, Shirley?
Yes, I agree. You take your moment. You're taking a moment. It is. It's hard. It is. It's hard. It's hard because, you know, someone's trying to use such horrific things just for her own advantage, and regardless of how you feel about someone, it's disgusting. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play another. Well, actually, before I play, I know there's another one that's a couple of minutes long, but I'm going to play another short one. And here again, why lie? This is about saying that I refused to when shown medical records, to believe that Armchair Detective had these issues. Anyway, I'll play the clip and then I'll tell you.
I showed Lizzie some documents of AD's health, and he said I could put them in public domain to prove he was telling the truth to me. So I did. I showed them to Lizzie, and she flatly refused to believe that the man was diagnosed with depression, that he had pancreatitis, and he had a couple of other things. It was there in a hospital letter in black and bloody white, and she refused to even take that on board.
I'm sorry, Eternal Flame. I know this is very distressing to hear. If it's triggered,
but this is going to be. This is the last.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Don't get upset. Don't get upset.
Well.
So you listen to that and you can hear everybody saying, oh, gee, you know, how could she do that? The fact is, I was sent a hospital, a medical record, which did have pancreatitis. This is going back like 15 years or something. Pancreatitis and acute pancreatitis. Well, if you look that up, I'm no doctor, but it tells you that it's just for a few weeks. It can be dealt with. It's not a big deal. But the whole issue here is I was trying to explain to her during the time she was a mod, I was trying to explain that he did drink, and she refused to believe it and said, no, he's got pancreatitis, he can't drink. I said, he does drink. And finally, I was able to prove to her that he does. Now, I don't care for 2 seconds if somebody drinks. That is not the issue. But his total effort to pretend he didn't drink and say, I don't drink, and that's the issue with me. Don't lie. So, and there was nothing on there about depression. And yet, when you listen to that, it's like the way she said it. I refused. No, I didn't. I just said, Maureen, it's not an issue. It's no big deal. If he's had that 15 years ago, that's not any reason why he's not drinking now. And like I say, I will say again, I don't care if he's drinking. That's never been the issue. It's about lying about not drinking. It's sickening. So I will play one more clip. I have no idea what's in it, but let's see.
No, that I'm not lying, or I tell lies. I had a blinding migraine one Saturday night, and they all diagnosed that I was lying.
Yep.
I'd had that migraine for nearly 10
I don't think you was lying, I don't think.
On and off.
I stuck up for you because.
Me too. I'm gonna need to switch to wine.
People
try a single malt is very good for you.
I do have some whiskey. I could do that. I could do that, but I don't know.
Right, since we're on the subject and they're all watching, I'll tell them now. I was accused of that you've been off with Lizzie for several weeks. I wasn't actually off with Lizzie. I was uncomfortable doing Madeleine McCann videos with her, because the comments I was receiving underneath my video that I didn't allow out in public were nasty. And we were accused of doing exactly what Armchair is doing to the Ruzek family. Lizzie and I were doing to the McCann family. And that did bring it home to me, and I realised the poster was right. It was hypocritical. One side of the duo was wanting to get rid of Armchair, yet the other side, the McCann side, felt it was right to do these videos and think it was fine. I didn't tell Lizzie because I didn't want her upset. I have screenshots somewhere when I can find them. And that was why, because I knew it was just going to bring in more nastiness after every programme. But no, I had a migraine. I turned up sick and I couldn't go on. But no, somebody else had to come into that conversation and interfere. So I just said, right, I threw in the towel, I'm going to bloody bed. And I did. And when I came back, it all started again because I'd had enough. No, I never said Lizzie did anything wrong. It's just the way. Oh, I'm not even going to go into it because this is just.
You don't need to.
It's not worth it, Maureen.
Round in circles.
Yeah.
Round in circles.
Yeah, because you cannot change certain people's mindsets, and they've decided that
she does not need to be dragged into this. She is this, Amber. Don't you understand? You can't say leave Lizzie out of it because she is in this. She was the one that got me to start the group. I didn't want a group. Michael didn't want a group. We were agreed at first to have a page to show his wrongdoing on. I didn't want a group where people could comment. But in the end, Lizzie wanted a group, so I went along with it. And on day 2, I saw the way it was going to go, and I did not like it. Because I knew it was going to be harmful. And it has been harmful.
Yeah, wow.
I know she had people waiting, but sometimes people turn up. Oh, I'd had that migraine for nearly 10 or 11 days on and off because I was stressed up to the eyeballs, like I am now. Richard, what do you think I should do?
So I think from that, you've got an idea. And overall, it appears to me that she is trying Ho controversy group, not only discredit Kerry, but discredit the fact that we are making videos about Madeline. Now, does that not come across to you too? Does that, how about you, Catalina? Or Cat? Should I call you Cat or Catalina?
Cat, however you want. Well, I don't think that the two cases
did that come
are
across to you that she's trying to say?
I don't think that the two cases are comparable. The McCann's.
I'm sorry, did I disappear there?
Sorry?
You did, Lizzie, and she's talking and then you start talking.
Okay.
Okay, I'm stopping.
All right, Catalina, go ahead.
Right, okay, I was going to say that I don't think there is any comparison between the McCann's case and the Watts case. There's hardly any comparison there. I'm saying that I don't know who Maureen is, so I'm just listening to the clips you are adding. So I'm sort of like in the middle here because I have no idea what's happening really.
Well, that's actually kind of good because you don't have a history with her. You were just used as as a weapon to throw at Kerry that day, and so you're just giving your opinion on what you're hearing. So I think that's good. But yeah, I agree with you. Two cases have nothing to do with each other, but Maureen's really good at being able to use certain words to get certain reactions. And in my opinion, that's what she was doing.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes. I think that she knew that certain, like you said, certain words and certain things that she's using will get the reaction that she's looking for.
Yes.
She was probably trying to make people feel sorry for her.
My very biased opinion is that's definitely what she was doing. Lizzie,
seems to be what's happening.
Okay, I was just checking to see if you were there.
I just want to address something that a lot of people have. When I was talking to her during, and I wasn't going to mention her name, but it seems it's come up. When I was talking to her during her time as a mod on Armchair Detective, I don't know what it is about me. I don't want to know the drama. If it's something that affects me, then yes, but everybody was telling me and actually getting really upset with me for being in touch with Maureen. And I said, I don't care. That's what I'm doing. And yes, I talked to her. And I continued to support her even after she left when nobody else wanted anything to do with her. And a lot of people, and there may be some even in chat right now, were against me for doing that. And I don't regret that for 1 second. Don't think this is about putting her down in total. She actually, at that time, and I used to say when in support of her, I used to say, from what I know, she hasn't lied. I've learned differently now, but at the time, what she said actually was true. When we're just referring to issues about Armchair Detective. So this has only, I make up my own mind who I speak to, and I was quite happy, regardless of what everybody else spoke about her about. That's not English, but I still continued to chat with her because it wasn't an issue with me. Even after that second video when she was putting me down, it wasn't an issue. It was like sad. I think that's all I saw it as. So I don't regret anything. And for those that tried to warn me, no, I'm sorry, that's not an issue. It's what's happened now that's the issue, and that's why I'm bringing it up. And because it has so much to do with I didn't even realize until just now, I think, how much it seems that she's trying to put down Madeline. and trying to compare the McCanns to the Ruzeks. I mean, that is totally disgusting. I'm sorry. Absolutely disgusting for anybody who knows the Watts case. The Ruzeks are the family of the murdered victims, and they are a lovely. It's just outrageous. And also to suggest that I think there's a lot of suggestions about I was wrong, or Armchair Detective there's support there. I'm sorry. I see that. Don't like it. I don't like what I see. So I'm sorry if my coming on here and pointing all these things out affects anybody. I'm sorry about that. But it's important to me to address issues, and only when there's lies involved, when somebody is lying, will I actually expose them. And I think that's what I'm trying to do today. And I know there's a lot of people who feel similar to me. I don't know. Is there anybody else in chat that wants to come up? I'm not sure who's in chat right now.
I can put the link in there. Do you know
anybody?
I'll put the link in. I'll see. But I also just wanted to reiterate what you said. It's not about just lies being told. It's about, she tried to discredit you and the people that you've been working with, you know, the mods for your group and all your videos. I mean, we're not talking about just people that care about this case. You guys have been doing this for so long, and you have credibility because of how hard you worked and how factual you are. And she's trying to do that. And it's not just her. If anybody was trying to discredit you or your people who have worked with you for so long, I would expect you to come out and defend yourself, because you put so much work into it. It's just not okay that she's using, or anybody uses, that kind of stuff for a personal vendetta.
Yeah, it's feeling like that. And you know me enough to know that I don't hold anything against most people. In fact, I find it funny because I'm prevented from even going close to the pending in our group, because I will let everybody in. And it was so bad that not when I originally, well, here's another issue too. I originally started the Madeleine McCann controversy group. And there was one time when I let this chap in, and I mean, he could have been a murderer for all I know. He was soon ousted, but no, I let everybody in because I want to give everybody a chance. But here's another issue of how I work, is that I and another admin were thrown out of the group, and it was taken over. Now at that time, there was only a few of the Madeleine groups, Facebook groups, because we're going back to 2013 here. And I was chucked out of the group. You know what? The person that chucked me out is one of my favorite friends now, who I chat to. I really, really like her. We got past it. It was, you know, she believed she was doing the right thing because she'd been told by somebody else, and she'd believed them. And so I got chucked out of my own group. At that point, I knew something was in the air, and I had Heidi Code Controversy set up. But it was so funny that day because I got chucked out. I had to go to work, and here I am painting away, because I paint garage doors and front doors to look like wood. And I'm painting away, and I'm thinking, oh, I can have a day off. And when I got back, everybody had left, and they'd come to join me in the new group. And I had about 400 people at that time all supporting me, and I never did get a day off. In fact, I don't think I got a day off in 13 years until October a couple of years ago when my brother died. I don't think I took a day off. And that's how committed I am. But to be treated like this is not acceptable. I mean, that's to say the least. So did you see anybody who'd like to come up? I know a lot of them might not be around because there's other stuff happening.
Yeah, I put the link in, and just want to say, if anybody does want to come out, and it doesn't even have to talk about this particular person, but if anybody wants to come up and talk about any of the, you know, the stuff that maybe they've experienced online, because, you know, like Catalina was saying, that she had no clue that she was being talked about, and you know, it. No, I don't know. And I'm not saying that, but you know, for it to be put out there that she's accusing a group or a person of being a bully when she didn't, you know, that could come back as negative on her. You know, if somebody actually believed that, they could be like, well, I like her, but I didn't know that she's out there calling people bullies when they're not, you know, so it was like this ripple effect of negativity that could, I mean, it didn't go that far, but it could have.
Yeah, and I missed that bit. I'm sorry, Catalina. I missed a little bit there. I'll look forward to watching it after, while I was rebooting there. And yes, and I found what happens, and we do now, moving over from the Madeline case in respect here, is that because of Armchair Detective, there is a lot of issues, and in everything is that when somebody wants to state another side of the story, they're deleted, they're banned. Nobody can get in, and this is exactly what's happened to Armchair Detective. He's admitted he's built a wall around his subs. He wants to protect them because that's where the money is, and he's built a wall. But let me just mention, I see I've got a couple of clips here from Armchair Detective for those who don't know him. And please be aware, I'm not saying don't go and visit him, but please be aware if he is talking about the Maddie case, just please be aware. I don't know exactly what's on these clips, but I'll play them anyway.
I love the McCann case. I've been doing it for 12 years. I did a coast-to-coast broadcast in America. I'm actually a registered expert on that case. I spent 12 years on it, and I study it most weeks, and I will bring it to you. But at the moment, it's gone crazy on this case, but I'm working on the McCann as we speak, and I will bring you more on it.
Yeah, I apologize about the audio. I've had problems, but a registered expert? Who is a registered expert of the McCann case? Do you know any, Catalina?
No.
Nobody is a and the Coast to Coast show was a podcast on the Oppenheimer show. I mean, I think anybody can get on there. So, yeah. Now, this one.
Are you going to
I
write a book?
know.
I wrote a book about McCann, 700 pages. I can't have it printed. Nobody will touch it because it will be stopped. So imagine somebody writing publishers. They love my book. It's a really good book. Imagine them printing it. Like, let's say they do 100,000 copies, and the next day Carter Ruck come in and say, "You can't do that. It's harming the investigation." What are you going to do with the 100,000 books? No one can touch my book. I'm going to be doing a book on the Watts, definitely, because I know too much. I've got to do a book on it. I've already got publishers in the States. I don't know what's going to happen about it. I don't know what's going to happen about it. I don't know. I'm trying to do a collaboration with somebody inside the case. I can't tell you.
Well, that was two years, 2019, 2 years ago. Yeah, what's happened? No. And as for the book is a compilation of some posts that he made and had everybody else edit them to try and make them readable, but nobody ever has been able to. It's a total lie, an absolute lie. Why do people lie? It's just
trying to sell themselves in the most horrible way.
It's just, yeah. Now, I did just glance over to chat, and I do see that there's somebody who's not interested in this live, and I do apologize. I know that I don't want you to think that I'll be doing lots of others like this. This is a one-off that needed to be addressed because it does affect the channel. It does affect the group. And although it doesn't affect me personally, I don't like to see what it's done to Kerry, but I'm sure she can shrug it off. It is important to get out, and that's why I've taken the time on this live to deal with it. You know what we've done. So, was there any other people that have gone through anything during the 14 years of MADDIE, or even now with the what's case? Or let me say armchair detective, the registered expert. Let's see what he says on this one. I'm not sure. I've got one more clip.
Of course, I know this case inside out. I wrote a book on it that I can't release. But I am one of Europe's leading, well, I don't know, blogger on the case. I spent 13 years on it. I'm not joking there. I spent 13 years on this case. So damn, takes up so much time. Now, of course, you know that I've read the PJ files inside out. I know all about the samples from 5A. The German police don't. They should have phoned me, but anyway, they didn't. So they're just like pissing in the wind, making stuff up. The Portuguese talking, not me, right? The search dog Eddie found signals of the presence of cadaver odor, a dead body, and marked it, gave a signal in the couple's bedroom, in the apartment 5A, the area close to the wardrobe. Same dog marked the same apartment close to the window where the body was removed from a window, and it was also marked across the street before it was driven off in some sort of truck, according to the Portuguese. Watch my videos, watch them all. They're all there. Read my book that you're not allowed to read. I'll get it out somehow. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I can read it in Patreon, can I? I'll look into that. Maybe I can do it in Patreon. What do you reckon?
No, is that not hilarious? He's a European expert, and the German police should have phoned him. But what got me, and maybe somebody could correct me, did he say that the dogs alerted over the road and it went off in a truck? I'm sorry, anybody who knows the MADDIE case. and this is the kind of he's read the files inside out. Excuse me, even I haven't managed that in 13 years. I don't know anybody who's read 40,000 pages and put them together and compared them. No. So do beware. I'm not saying you can't watch or you shouldn't watch or whatever, but it's certainly fun when you do. Let me tell you, I know from experience. But yeah.
I was going to say something that you asked about earlier about anybody else in the chat wanting to come up, and I haven't seen anybody say anything, but talking about there has been a lot of damage, and I didn't know about all the stuff with the MADDIE, but definitely in the Watts case, and we all know that there's been a lot of doxing that's happened. It's the stuff that's happened online because of different, and it's not even necessarily the Watts case, it's the AD/Watts case issue, but Salty's in the chat. I don't know if she can come up, but she was full on doxed bad, to where this person put the floor plans to her house online, and put out her ex-husband's information, and it just becomes so dangerous. And that's why, even though people may not be agreeing what's happening, other than discrediting you and your group and all your work, is people that go out there and just throw stuff out, just throw it out during a live, and don't think about the repercussions of it and how where it could go. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because that's, or, you know, when you mentioned that, because there are a lot of people that have had that happen to them, have had terrible things happen to them, not just within the Madeleine McCann community.
Yeah, there's a lot happening around the true crime community, actually, and there's some great people that deal with true crime, and they are the ones. Am I cutting out?
No.
Okay, there are some great people dealing with true crime. Anybody who wants to look at true crime and really go to a good site, Gray Hughes, I think, is a good one. Scott Reich. Can you think of any others, Shirley? I know there's a few that you watch. I don't get to watch them.
To be honest, those are the two main ones that I watch. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones that do different episodes that don't delve. There's, oh gosh, I feel so terrible now. There's another one, Emily. She's a lawyer. I think she's kind of new, but yeah, no, there are so many true crime channels out there that aren't doing the things that are happening in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama.
Here's one, True Crime Rocket Science. Yes. See, I knew I was going to forget all these.
Well, I never have time to go and visit them, and but also there is a lot of great creators that put forth videos about what's gone wrong in the crime. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, I think I probably said it wrong again. Did I say pancreatitis wrong again? I can spell it, I just can't say it, and it just occurred to me.
I think you did.
I keep cutting out, so it's obviously.
That's all right, Lizzie. We knew what you meant. We're, you know, those of us that have been here trying to deal with AD and his stuff, we're pretty used to words just being made up. So, you know.
Oh, I know. There's been some funny ones. But no, that was really funny because I don't usually listen back onto the lives, but I think at one point I did. And I heard myself say pancreatitis. And I thought, I know how to spell it. How the heck did I not say it properly? But anyway, so now I've forgotten where I was at. But okay, help me here, Shirley. Where was I at?
Well, we were talking about the true crime community and actual real true crime channels.
Yeah, and I think there's a heck of a lot of people. It's a great community to, you know, to be involved with. As long as, oh yes, and I think I'd got to mention about the creators that are putting out the facts about why Armchair Detective should not be a part of anybody's life, and they're amazing. I think if you watch Undercover Mother, at the end of it you can see about 50 different creators that actually put out videos showing his lies, absolute lies, and he's convinced. And what we find, I think the biggest thing that we have, or I have, apart from how he's hurting the Rusex, I think one of the biggest things for me is that he's begging for money. He's playing the victim. He's getting close to 20, 25, 30,000 a month. And yet he will still sit there and say, oh, thanks for sending me money so that we can eat this week. That kind of thing. I mean, it's just what I can't express it. How can anybody making that kind of money start claiming that or suggesting that they're not, you know, the dog can't eat? That's the issue. And where this money is coming from is from, as he claims, there's a lot of older women in his subs. A lot of them are older women, And it's very, very sad that a lot of them are saying, I can't pay you right now, but I'm going to pay you as soon as, at the weekend. And one even gave up her cancer medication so that she could become a patron because he wouldn't put the price down. He's not sold out. You don't sell out of Patreon. Not at all. You just, unless you offer something and you sell out. But maybe I'm just for a second, I'm going to play a video that I made when I first came over to check out what he was doing and how he was, and I will use the word conning people. So this is the video I made at the time. I never finished it because I got too involved. But this may open the eyes for a lot of people about Armchair Detective.
There's groups of them, 30,000 housewives and that, talking about McCann's all day, every day. Facebook McCann groups are little tribes who just argue with each other and forget about Madeline. She's not even involved in it anymore. It's all hate the McCanns or hate each other. Or hate me if they want, I don't care. I'm proactive. I could do something in McCann's case. if someone will support me, like I did with the Watts case, they don't want to. They don't want to.
Well, I hope you can see from that why I initially went over to find out what was happening with him and the money. And I don't know if anybody else wanted to pop up. Did they, Shirley? Has anybody suggested they'd like to say something?
No, nobody has said anything
I can
yet.
see there's... Okay. We'll give them a couple of minutes because there might be a few people in chat right now that would like to have a word. Or if you can point out to me, I will try and find the message. Because as you know, I'm not very good at getting messages because I have to be taken off the little page where I choose all the videos and pictures. But I think I've covered most of them. In the meantime, I'm just going to take time out and I'm going to change. You might find the background changes a bit, but I want to find something which was maybe on last week's. I'm not sure if that's the one. I wanted to take time out to let everybody know that tomorrow around 3ish, I'm not sure of the exact time, but Pat Brown has finally managed to get it together and is going to be doing a live. And be excited because you can finally on YouTube live speak to Pat Brown, the criminal profiler, to give you information about what you want to know. You can ask her all the questions. And I'm hoping, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping this is the promo for it. If not, then I'll have to search again. Hold on a sec. So I'm really looking forward to that. She is absolutely great. I mean, when we had her on a couple of weeks ago, everybody loved her. Everybody was looking forward to when she came on. Right, Shirley?
Oh yeah, she was super popular. There's a lot of people really excited, and I'm one of them. That's for sure.
I've seen it. I was as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'll be doing a promo vid for her, and I'll put it on our channel so that it can redirect to her live that she'll be having on Sunday. Now, she's had to start up a new channel because her old one she can't get into, but most of her videos have been uploaded. And I mean, she's been in the media for close to 20 years, 18 years, 20 years. And she is lovely. And even though Pat and I disagree on a lot of issues, she is lovely. We get along wonderful. And she has had such a life. I hope that her lives don't only focus on criminal profiling, and she describes some of what she's done in her life. She is an amazing person. So I really hope you'll join her. And that's about 3 o'clock tomorrow. I think she's going to be coming on. So in the meanwhile, did you come across anything, Shirley? I know everybody has a lot to say. Are there any messages I should be putting up?
I don't think so. And I'm sure there are people that I think everybody's just trying to be really respectful and not turn this into, you know, what some people are going to call it being anyways. They're trying to be respectful about that. I would.
Okay. And Catalina.
I was going to ask Catalina a question though. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but and I'm not trying to get you to take sides, and I'm using air quotes right now. But so, what's your thought on all of this, and not just this particular subject, but or the person, but you know the whole way that online, and I use the word bullying because there is bullying, but sometimes it's just nonsense. I mean, I don't know what other word to use about it, but what's your take on all that?
Well, I experienced it firsthand online, and also my 11-year-old girl, she experienced the same thing as well. And it's horrible what people can say when they hide behind the screen. They don't consider that someone else is actually reading whatever they are writing, and it can impact on their lives really badly, to the point where they can even commit suicide because of online bullying. And you get into, let's say, a group of people, you trust these people, and then all of a sudden you realize that online you can't really trust anyone, because you have no idea who is who. They can say they are whoever they want. You don't have any way of verifying anything really online. And it's horrible because we have children, and our children are using social media, and we expose our children to things that probably, or most of the times, we were not exposed to.
Thanks, Catalina. I do you know what? I've really, really, really appreciated you coming on, because I think you've initially and throughout, you have helped prove that people do lie, and you have shown that that was the case in this case, which I absolutely appreciate, because I need to know that people trust me. Because if they don't trust me, I don't know, credibility is so important to me. I've always worked on it hard, and it's absolutely important. Credibility of our group, our channel, everything that I do. I need to feel that people trust me. I know some people won't because they don't know me, but that's absolutely the case. And I do want, before, I know that you need to go, Catalina. I'm sorry, I've just seen the message.
That's okay.
But before I finish on this particular thing, I want to make a message to Maureen, which I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say how I feel, is that I find it very sad. I absolutely supported you, Maureen. I didn't want to mention your name, but it's come up, and so I can't get away from that. I did support you. I would have continued to be in contact with you because regardless of what you said on lives, I mean, that's one issue. But the moment that you took those videos down is the moment that was the breaking point, the turning point, the line in the sand for me. To disrespect Maddie like that, I'm really, that was the, as I say, the line in the sand. Now, don't take that if you ever need anything and you're in trouble, I will always be there for you. But for now, I'm you know, I just find it sad. So I just wanted to say that. Maybe we should end at this point. Do you think, Carrie? Carrie. Hey, Carrie.
I'm going to speak on behalf of Carrie and say, yes, I think maybe it is. And I just wanted to thank Catalina again for coming on. You know, you could have just said, whatever, not my deal, and walked away. But, you know, I really appreciate it because like Lizzie said, she has a lot of respect and she's earned it. It's just people just gave it to her. She's earned it through the years. And to see somebody trying to discredit her by using you was very distressing. So thank you for coming on and setting that straight.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I do feel the same way. It's horrendous. And obviously that's why I agreed to come on, because I didn't want Lizzie to be discredited. And also, of course, I didn't want myself to be discredited as well for having said something which I didn't.
Right. Well, again, and I don't know if you've been reading the chat, but you've got a few more subs now. Carrie's been putting the link into your channel, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for all your hard work, Lizzie.
Oh, it's all for, well, all for Maddie. I mean, you know, I've spent my time because there's a little girl who deserves to be laid to rest in peace, for her family to grieve, and for the world to grieve too. That is what this is about. I don't care about the McCanns. I don't care if they go to jail or don't go to jail or a trial or anything. I just want Maddie found so that she can be laid to rest.
Are you having a moment, Liz? Or did your computer go away?
Yeah, because you're not here and I have to go through the comments and try and take off the ones that are there, and then I have to add another one. I don't know what.
Sorry.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you.
So, okay, so are we done for the day?
I think it's good. I mean, you got it out there. You got you know, you put your side out there and people are going to make the decisions based on, that's the thing. If people want to, if they still, you know, want to not believe in you or any, that's fine, but at least you got your side out. And I think that's good.
Absolutely. And everybody knows that you don't have to agree with me. I'm not asking people to agree with me. I'm asking you to have an opinion, but base that opinion on facts. And if you want to know the facts, you have to go in and check with Cherry and Carrie. Thank you, Cherry, who's probably, I don't know what she'd be bumping up today, because it's really not a lot of threads in Heidi-Ho that deal with this. But all you have to do is pop into Heidi-Ho and ask, and you will get the link immediately. Everybody is so great. I've forgotten about Mark's podcasts. Don't forget Mark's podcasts.
Yeah, well, no,
Mark
not
Sonakanako, I've got to always promote his podcast because his 10 podcasts called Maddie are just absolutely amazing for anybody who wants to learn about Maddie. And anybody who wants to know about Christian Bruckner, go to his new podcast, which one has been provided, called They've Taken Her. They've just released the one right now. So, and in the future, I've been chatting. Peter Mack is going to be joining us in a couple of weeks. He is an absolute great researcher, and he's going to be, I think, he's got so many things he can discuss, but I think he mentioned to me before about discussing about The Last Picture. He's an amazing researcher. He's in touch with Gonzalo Amaral, and I'm looking forward to having him on. And also, I'm hoping that Tony will come back on with us. And in the future, I really want Peter Hyatt to come back. But, you know, as for now, I don't know what's happening next week. I wasn't planning on this for this week, but I'm hoping nobody really took offense from it. I don't mean it as that. And I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus. I just wanted to address lies, which is one thing that I cannot handle. And I think thanks to Catalina, I think we've been able to address that. Yep. And so yeah, Carrie's been putting up the link for Mark's Nakanako, Shirley.
Yeah.
When are you gonna?
I'm still gonna work on that. Okay, well, yeah, it's been a great live, and I really appreciate everybody coming in and being really respectful in the chat. And my battery's dying, so if I just disappear, it's because my battery died. And just wanted to again thank you, Catalina, for coming on. It was great.
Thank you so much for having me again. Thank you so much.
And don't forget, tomorrow in the UK, it's Mother's Day. It's not for me here in Canada. But yeah, happy Mother's Day for everybody. And I want everybody to stay safe and just appreciate every day. Look forward to what we do have and not what we don't have. Because you can have fun with what you don't have, let me tell you. So I know that sounds silly, but it's true. But we won't go into that now, otherwise we'll be for another hour. So okay, I keep going to click on messages, and then they move up one and I get the wrong one. So okay, so our piece says it. Take care, everyone, and thank you mods, thank you everybody, thank you Cherry, thank you everybody. I absolutely appreciate you all. You know that this is special to me. You know, I could have a day. This gives me something to look forward to every week, gives me motivation, and it's really a great part of my life. And I'm not going to forget Chris and Kim, who are the ones that initially motivated me to do this in the first place, and their lovely words that they've sent to me. So it looks like Shirley's lost her battery, and I'm going to say bye-bye. So thanks again, Catalina. Sorry I kept you a bit longer than you anticipated.
That's all right.
But thank you again for what you've done. Okay, and thanks to everyone.
Thank you for having me. And have a good night and happy Mother's Day.
Yes, and I'd actually planned a video to go out with, which you can watch or you don't have to. It's up to you. But I have to find it first. Okay, we don't want. Geez, I don't think I should really just go out with it. Okay, I'm going to go out with the one that I can find, and that is one where we did make a difference to Gonzalo Amaral by getting together as a group of the MADDIE community. We got together, got him £52,000 so he could appeal. So this is where we made a difference. So I'll go out with that one because I can't find the other one.
People, time ticking away. Remember, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. People, time ticking away. Keep on keeping on, keep on keeping. People, keep on keeping on, ticking away.
Another hero, another mindless crime behind the curtain in the pantomime. Hold the line. Does anybody want to take it anymore? The show must go on. The show must go on. Yeah. Inside my heart is breaking, my makeup is aching, but my smile still stays on. Whatever happens, I leave it all to chance. Another heartache, another failed romance. On and on. Does anybody know?
In the last few minutes, Colin, we've heard from the first live witness, a police inspector, Tavares Almeida. He was one of the detectives on the case in the first 4 months after Madeleine's disappearance. He's been telling the court that the two dogs, remember the two dogs that came over from Britain who were used to search the holiday apartment where Madeleine was last seen and other areas, he said that one of the search dogs identified blood, another of, or the second of those two dogs identified the smell of a cadaver, a dead body odour. When he was asked where those dogs detected blood and the body odour, he said in the apartment, in the villa that the McCanns then went on to hire after Madeleine disappeared, and also in the hire car which they hired 3 weeks after Madeleine disappeared.
A Sky News source has said 2 samples were found in the McCann's hire car, 1 full match and 1 partial. According to the source, the nature of the samples has led police to believe they'd come from Madeleine's body being placed in the boot. The traces could be used as evidence against her parents.
They will be very worried because this is crucial evidence that implicates them being with Madeleine 25 days after she's disappeared.
My soul is painted like the wings of butterflies, fairy tales of yesterday.